Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends of Autism Speaks. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce our speakers coming up. And I met Her Excellency, Mrs. Tamara Vucic, at the same event 2 years ago. During our brief conversation after the event, Autism Speaks made a pledge to Her Excellency to provide the technical support needed for leadership to make a difference in Serbia. Since that meeting, we have watched with admiration and amazement the incredible strides that our community in Serbia had made, and here to share with us more on the vision and the implementation of the vision is the First Lady of Serbia, Her Excellency Ms. Tamara Vucic.
Thank you, Andy. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, allow me to tell you a story about a boy who couldn't walk without counting steps and who by no means could touch somebody's hair and who just by glancing at a peach would get a fever. He could eat only if he'd calculate the volume of a soup plate or piece of food, and everything he did had to be divisible by 3 eventually. When he grew up, got old, he moved into a hotel and rented a room number 207, number divisible by 3, and the maid had to leave him 18 towels. While dining alone, there had to be 18 napkins on the table. He had never fallen in love with a woman, but according to his own confession, he fell in love with a dove in whose eyes he had seen the light. The name of this boy, this man, is Nikola Tesla. And according to the modern standards, he was autistic. At the same time, he was a genius, the one who gave us the gift of light, the very same light he loved, saw, and felt. And he was not the only one. Einstein, Mozart, Darwin, all these were men that suffered from some form of autism, and they had that strange light they knew how to shape in an ingenious way, create miracles from it, and give it to all of us. Therefore, it is an obligation to speak about autism. It is a huge debt that we have towards those who, hidden within their small world, manage to change this big, open, and often unjust towards them world of ours. It is time to return a favor to them, at least a tiny bit of that light. Autism, whose exact causes are not known even today and whose forms we keep discovering, is certainly not a disease. First of all, it is a reaction. In Tesla's case, it might have been a reaction to his brother's death. In case of some other people, it is a reaction to trauma, fear. And in most cases, it is simply a reaction to a fact that one has something that nobody else does, and it makes you so different to the extent of not being acceptable. This is something which was a pure quality in so many cases, a geniality in our world, the world of cruel and average ones. It can often be recognized as a flaw, defect, something that requires rejection, judgment. And this is one of the problems we are facing in Serbia when it comes to the relation between the environment and autistic persons. And as if that were not enough, that they excommunicated themselves, we, with our attitude and behavior, often additionally excommunicate them. Or we, on the other hand, try to fit them into our world, most often without even thinking that the solution would be or might be to try to find our place in their world. Precisely by acknowledging the fact about individuals' confusedness in challenges with unknown cause, relevant factors in Serbia have recognized the value of CST, caregiver skill training. The program has started in the beginning of the last year through, as it turned out, a successful cooperation model, thanks to the Autism Speaks organization, and special thanks to our friend, Dr. Andy Shi, and the World Health Organization, with openness and understanding on the side of the Ministry of Health of the Republic of Serbia and UNICEF of Serbia. Awareness raising aimed at everyone, acceptance and better understanding by parents and caregivers of children with autism and medical workers, assisting parents and caregivers in applying skills aimed at development of children and their abilities, but also helping parents in facing stress and raising their psychological welfare, All the aforementioned are objectives of the program, but also objectives all of us should strive towards, regardless of whether this is or this is not a topic in our surroundings. It is in human nature to question everything that is different, those things distinguishing in any way, and that is all right. But likewise, it is in human nature to understand and help. Let us try to make that all right as well. I personally expect and hope that the program will enable decrease of the stigma towards persons that are different, and that it will result in increased inclusion and participation of children with autism. Regulation that deals with this difficult issue in my country is a good one, and it envisages the entire set of measures meant to help persons with autism. But it is clear that it presents a necessary but not the sufficient condition. The lack of human and financial resources must be overcome by gradual awareness raising, by improving services and developing a long-term strategy. It is all possible only through sincere understanding of needs and challenges families are facing. Having the aforementioned in mind, and since we wanted to listen the real needs of the families facing the ASD, research with 280 parents of the children with autism was carried out with the help of the questionnaire developed by Autism Speaks. Since their real needs were recognized, the priority for the coming period will be healthcare protection, education, and support of the Society for Children with Autism and their parents and caregivers. On the path towards the goal, it is necessary to raise awareness of the entire society by verified information. Guidelines for screening, as you mentioned, Tom, diagnostics and intervention at children with autism spectrum disorder were made. They are meant for experts working with children and their families, and they are one-stop shop for all available and current information. I truly believe in the path we embarked on. I believe in CST. But it likewise makes me angry when I do not see the readiness in each person I meet. Readiness to learn, not to be afraid, not to ignore the signs, and to give an example to the youngest ones that not only persons with autism are one of us, but also so often they're maybe even better than us. I'm a mother of a 15-month-old boy, and I want him to be the one tomorrow who will reprimand me if by any chance it happens to me to perceive somebody's diversity as a flaw. Nevertheless, I am aware that this requires a broad social, media, and institutional action, and I task myself with encouraging the respective and helping its implementation. I see this only as the first step towards breaking the prejudice that implies parents' fault or even looking for a cause in MMR vaccine, which was a big problem in my country at the beginning of this year. In a desperate desire and need to establish the cause of autism in Serbia and neighboring countries, there was a campaign through social networks with a single task: to stop MMR immunization, because the MMR vaccine causes autism. You know, parents are always an easy target. And this campaign, based on a long ago rejected and multiple denied study, could cause an epidemic of measles, disease that was eradicated in the last century. Dear friends, there are many who suffer from some form of autism, but both worldwide and in Serbia. And all of them ask for help by being silent. Help that will enable them to share the light they see with us. And I believe that I will make it. I will do my best to have that help not divided, but multiplied by 3, by 33, by 333. Thank you for your attention on behalf of all people with autism in Serbia and on behalf of the great Tesla. Thank you.